Good morning, it's Valerie Ling here. Hi, I just got off the phone call with a coach that I'm working with at the moment. And, it was a couple of light bulb moments that I just wanted to share with you. And it coincides with the R in my burnout process, burnout prevention process, which is resource. It's all about resourcing. So the conversation was, I've been trying to figure out a way of doing something, and I've been going around and around and around in circles, probably for the greater part of a year now, trying to make this thing work, and it's working. And I basically put it down to I must have the wrong way of doing it. It must just be that I'm not doing it right. And as the conversation progressed, um, she actually said, your personality is like this. However, you don't actually really enjoy doing things this way. That's not how you get energy. That's not how you think best, right? And she asked me to think about how I was interacting in my workspace. What do I tend to really, really enjoy? And as I thought about it, I really like creating knowledge and information and connecting people. But I'm not really the sort of person that even though I'm from a personality point of view, even though I've got an extroverted preference, I actually have an introverted style, meaning that a lot of the time I will pull back and hang back and just watch and observe how things are going, and then my brain has to go for a walk to map it all out and do things. And instead I was forcing myself to do things in a way that was really quite unnatural to that. So the resource, the R part of the 6 R's, is really incredibly importantly linked to self-awareness. And I sometimes feel like people tune off when I say it all starts with self-awareness, because it's like, oh, here we go, navel gazing, or whatever. But it's not, because you have to actually figure out how you work best and then put in some ways that honor and respect that. I will sidestep now into a conversation that happened yesterday at home. So I've been working with one of my kids to actually reduce their self-expectations of themselves. And one of the expectations that they have of themselves is that when it comes to school, they've got to love every subject and do well at every subject. And my goal for this particular child of mine is, I want you to fail in one thing in one subject this year. Right now that sounds a bit, what you said, what? But really for her, this is a really important, it's kind of like you just have to feel it. You have to fall on the ground and feel the pain and think, oh, that's not bad, I can deal with this. And when she came home, she said to me, Mom, good news. She obviously didn't think it was good news, but in the spirit and in the vein of reporting back, Mom, good news. You know how you said I need to fail at least once? Well, guess what? And I'm like, oh, she failed. Hooray. No, she didn't fail. She got a particular mark, and she says, I almost failed, Mom. And I'm like, oh, come on, can you try harder? I want you to actually fail. So anyway, she goes through this thing, and then comes the switch back into this thinking that is linked to her expectations of herself. And so what I've problem solved, Mom, is that I basically have been studying the wrong way. And I just stopped and reflected that. I said, do you think you've been studying the wrong way? Because what I've observed is that, you've tried every single method known to man to try to get your head around this subject. Is it possible that you may not really enjoy this subject, and that it may not be one of your top strengths, and that being diligent and doing the best you can is what the thing is, and that you've already been doing that? And that boils down to self-awareness, right? Like, it's not a character thing of saying be lazy. It's about actually being compassionate to yourself and saying, it's impossible to be good at everything. It's impossible to be interested in everything. Like, no human being is created that way. But we resource ourselves in terms of trying to figure out a couple of ways that we can do things in our areas of limitation, and be content with it and be compassionate with that, and let go the expectation that we have to excel and do well and have all the answers to every single thing all the time. So that's my little spiel on one of my R's, which is the resource R. Have a great morning, everyone.